Okay, so anyway, an inscribed angle, its vertex is on the circle. The intercepted arc is twice as much as an inscribed angle, so 110 and 55. On a circumscribed angle, it's made up of two tangent lines, and the radius drawn to the point of tangency creates a 90-degree angle right here and right here. And so what we learn is that the two angles, the central angle and the circumscribed angle, are supplementary. Okay? So you got to remember that those two angles are going to be supplementary. That will be on the test. What was that? Okay, is it? Oh, okay. Number 3, what is a central angle? Okay, a vertex at the center of the circle. Okay, and what do we know about the measure of, let's say this was 88 degrees. What's its intercepted arc? 88 degrees, yeah. Central angle and its intercepted arc are the same measure. Okay? Number 4, how are the measures of inscribed angles and central angles related? Okay, an inscribed is half of an intercepted arc, and the central angle is the same as the intercepted arc. I already answered that question up there, right? Okay, so an inscribed angle, right here, that's going to be as its intercepted arc, and on a central angle, they are congruent. Okay. Number 5, how are the measures of circumscribed angles and central angles with the same intercepted arc related? They are supplementary. Okay. I already answered that question too. Okay. How many of you weren't here when we talked about that? Well, I talked about this 2 classes ago. So, I think, you know what? I think everybody was here that day. Or maybe you weren't here, Austin. Yeah. He was here. Okay. Haley. How are the measures in inscribed angles and central angles related? An inscribed angle is half of an intercepted arc, whereas a central angle is the same as a central angle is the same as the intercepted arc. Yep. Okay? All right, now, I'm going to do a quick review of what's going to be on the test. Yeah, I want you guys to listen to this too. Those of you guys who are taking the test, still listen to this. You can use notes on this quiz, yes. Okay, you guys, this is circle C, and this is circle D. This circle has a radius of 10 inches. This circle has a radius of 5 inches. I want to know if circle C and circle D are similar. What's the answer to that question? I mean, let me ask you it in a different way. Are all circles similar? All circles are similar. And what would be the scale factor right here that would make these similar? If we were going from C to D, 1 over 2. If we were going from D to C, what would it be? 2 over 1, right? For those of you who didn't see that, oh yeah. If we were going from C to D, the ratio that makes that is 5 over 10, which is 1/2, right? And if we are going from D to C, the ratio would be 10 over 5, which is 2, right? Okay, and so we could transform. Remember, you can use transformations to show that circles are similar. We could transform this one by putting it so the centers are the same, and then dilating this by a scale factor of 2, right? So we could go scale factor of 2, times it by 2, times the radius by 2, and it will become 10, and you would have same size circles. So we can show that they're similar that way. Any questions on similarity? Okay, it's 2. All circles are similar. Okay, yeah, while I'm writing down the next question, make sure your name's on that. Put a score out of 20. Out of 20 on your bell work and go turn that in. Where did I just put that piece of paper? Okay, in reviewing for the test, the quiz, see if you can answer these 3 questions right here. E is the center point, yes. I should put that down. E is the center of the circle. Yeah, you guys, arc, look, arc BD, which is going to be the minor arc, right? Well, I didn't have to tell you which way, because I taught you that last time. If there's only 2 letters that name it, then it's the shortest distance around. If you notice, see this radius right here? If you were to extend this radius, it would hit down here somewhere, right? So from B to D is the shortest way around. It's a minor arc. If you name a major arc, the more than around, you have to name 3 letters. So BD was the distance from here around to here. And it is intercepted by angle BAD, which we know the measure of angle B, or actually we know the measure of arc BD, which is 170. And angle BAD is an inscribed angle intercepting that arc, so it's going to be half as much as arc BD. So half of 170 is 85. Okay? One more time, you guys, because I can see some of you guys don't get this. Arc BD is this arc right here. Its measure, I gave you, is 170 degrees, right? And this inscribed angle hits at B and at D. Do you see that? And so arc BD is intercepted arc, and so we know that the measure of angle BAD is going to be half of arc BD. So half of 170 is 85. Raise your hand if you don't get that. Raise your hand if you do get it. Raise your hand if you're so-so. Okay. One more time. Watch, you guys that are kind of so-so. Right here. I gave you measure of arc BD. Arc BD, we took the measure of this arc right out here. It's 170 degrees. Carly, you watching? Because this is what I'm showing you guys. Okay? This is arc BD out here. It's 170 degrees. Okay? It is intercepted by angle BAD. This angle BAD right here, right? It's intercepted by that arc because this angle intersects the circle at B and intersects the circle at D. So arc BD is its intercepted arc. So since it's an inscribed angle, angle BAD is an inscribed angle, the measure of its arc out here, it's half the measure of its arc out here. So it's half of 170 is 85. Got it? This seems to be the one you guys are having trouble on, is seeing inscribed angles. Okay? All right, measure of angle CED. Raise your hand if you know the measure of angle CED. Okay, what is it, everybody? Okay, it is 85 degrees. Why is it 85 degrees? Okay, because central angle, because arc CD, which is from here to here, I told you is 85, right? So arc CD, which is right here, is the same measure. By the way, it's coincidence that angle BAD and angle CED are the same right here because I didn't mean to make it that way. I was just putting numbers up there. So CED, angle CED is also 85 degrees. Okay, measure of angle DFA. Measure of angle DFA. You know what? Did I not give? I thought I gave you guys an. Oh yeah, DEA. Okay, what is it? What's the? Raise your hand if you know the measure of angle DFA. Raise your hand if you know the measure of angle DFA. Okay, what is it, you guys? 110 degrees. That's right. For those of you guys who are not seeing it, I gave you that angle DEA is 70 degrees. That's this angle right here, right? DEA is 70 degrees. And we notice, I should have told you, that line AF, which is this line right here, is a tangent line, and line DF is a tangent line. Therefore, it makes a circumscribed angle out here. And I know that the angle between, that doesn't work out very well, does it, my numbers? But I know that this angle right here, oh, actually it does. I know that this angle right here, DEF is 90. And I know that EDF is 90. Okay, because we learned that a radius drawn to a tangent line makes a 90-degree angle. Okay, so that makes the central angle and the circumscribed angle out here supplementary. So this has got to be 110, because 110 plus 70 makes 180. Okay? Any questions on that? A circumscribed angle. Circumscribed angle and its central angle are supplementary. Any questions there? There will be a question like this on the test. Now, I'm going to ask you guys one more question. What is the measure of arc BC? When you know the answer to that, raise your hand. Arc BC. Why is it 85? Yeah, well, the reason why is because we know that arc CD is 85, and we know the whole arc BD is 170. So 85 plus 85 makes 170, right? So we can do it that way. All right, I'm going to ask you guys one more question. Raise your hand when you know this one. Measure of arc BAD. When you know the answer to that one, raise your hand. Arc BAD. Okay, we got about half of you that know. Rest of you guys are getting it. Ryan, what is it? 190. Why? Yeah, the measure around the whole circle is 360, and we know that from B to D is 170. So you just minus 170 from 360 to get BAD. 360 minus the 170 we already know is 190. We knew from B to D was 170, so BAD is 190. Got it? Okay, now, any questions there? Okay. All right. Let's see if I've got anything else here I need to go over. Okay, you guys, let's say I have a circle right here. And let's say this is circle R. And let's say that it has a diameter running through it. That's diameter TU. So TU is a diameter. Okay. And I choose a point right here. And I draw two chords from that point. I'm going to call this point Z. And I am going to draw a chord from Z to T and a chord from Z to U. I want to know the measure. When you know this, raise your hand. Measure of angle TZU. When you know the measure of angle TZU, raise your hand. Some of you guys are going like, how can you know the measure if I didn't give you any measures to begin with, right? The key is that I told you that TU is a diameter. And if you think about it, TZU is an inscribed angle. Okay, Cheyenne, what's the answer? 90 degrees. That's correct. Why, Cheyenne? Why? Cheyenne, why? What about the chord? What chord? No, it's not because of that. Kai, go ahead. That's exactly right. You guys, see, TU is a diameter, which makes arc T, let's call this S, TSU. Arc TSU is a semicircle. It's a 180-degree measure, right? TZU is the inscribed angle that intercepts this semicircle. So if it intercepts a semicircle, it has to be half of the semicircle, which is 90 degrees. Okay? Got it? In fact, remember this? If I draw any point right here on this line and draw the chord to T and the chord to U, what's the measure of that angle going to be? 90. If I have one here and I go to T and to U, 90. If I draw one over here to T and to U, it's going to be 90. Remember, if you have a diameter and you draw an angle that intercepts TU, or the diameter, then the angle is going to be 90 degrees every single time. Got it? Okay. Okay. Here we go. One last problem. Well, maybe not one last. Okay, here we go. Tangent line. Tangent line. Okay. Actually, I was going to ask you guys a question. What's the measure of angle CQR? It's 90. Every radius drawn to a point of tangency is 90 degrees, right? Okay. What's the measure of angle QCV, the central angle? QCV, when you know, raise your hand. QCV. Raise your hand. 54 degrees, sorry. That's supposed to say 54 degrees. Measure of angle QCV. Measure of angle QCV. Okay. Braden, what do you think? Oh, okay. I thought you were raising your hand. Okay, Alex. 126. Why? Okay. Remember, a circumscribed angle and a central angle are going to be supplementary if they intercept the same arc, right? Which they do. They intercept arc VQ. VQ. Okay? All right. You know, okay, for those of you guys who weren't here, this is the other thing. Well, wait, we got to do this first. I taught you this. Whoops. Okay, last time we were here, I taught you this right here. I taught you how to find the equation of this circle. Okay? For those of you who are not here, this is how it works. You need to write that in your notes. For those of you who weren't here for the test, for the quiz today, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay? Now, we learned that h and k are equal to the center of the circle. And we learned that r is equal to the radius. Okay? So this circle, is this the center right here? I'm kind of right there. Okay. So there's the center of the circle. So I want you guys to write an equation of that circle. And just leave it in that form up there. But you guys got to replace h, k, and r with something. What are you going to replace h, k, and r with? Okay, one more time. You guys, we plug these numbers in right here. 4 for h, negative 3 for y, or a k, and 4 for r. And then we rewrote y minus a negative 3 as y plus 3, and 4 squared as 16. And this is our answer right here. Okay? Any questions? How many of you think you can do that? Okay. Let's test you out on the next one. Here we go. Next one. Pretend like, oh man, I got that one way off. Let me redo that one. Okay, right there, you guys. The center is at 0, comma, negative 3. What's the radius of the circle? 5. You go out that way, that's 5 units. Okay? Raise your hand when you got it. The equation of the circle. Raise your hand if you got it. Okay, here we go. X minus 0 squared plus y minus negative 3 squared equals 5 squared, which would be x squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 25. There's your answer right there. Any questions? How many of you had that? Okay. I might have you do the opposite of this. Graph this circle. I might have you do the opposite. Graph that circle. Go ahead. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to do this if you haven't done it yet. This would be -2. That would be +1. That's a center. And the square root of 9 is 3. So the radius is 3. So -2, 1 would be right here. A radius of 3. So I go out 3 this direction, up 3, left 3, down 3. And I draw my circle. How many of you had that? Okay, everybody take out a piece of paper. We're going to start the quiz right now.